Alright, okay, another deathmatch. So yeah, the reigning champion, still reigning champion, what, 4 or 5 times undefeated, is the Jargano Swamp Raptor. We've got the primed one here. Mostly due to having a load of hits and being able to deal out a lot of damage. Nothing particularly special. I think we've very rarely triggered its enraged ability to get an extra attack. It mostly just chews people up from having a high damage, high to hit roll, and doesn't be able to soak a lot. So yeah, that's the Swamp Raptor, hailing from Jargano, home territory now. There you go, Swamp Raptor, for those who've not seen it before. The next up though is another one of Ken's suggestions, one I haven't actually played in the game yet. I haven't faced off in the game yet against, so it's going to be an interesting one for me. Yeah, it is the Jorogumo. There we go, Jorogumo, which is, I believe, some kind of Japanese half woman, half spider demon thing. Yeah, it's a pretty good model actually. I do like it as a model. It's a nice model. It was very fiddly to put together, but yes, nice model, nice detailing and sculpture on it. Not got around to painting it, which is no great surprise because I've not got around to painting hardly anything really. Anyway, so yeah, we've got the Jorogumo versus the Swamp Raptor. What can we say about the Jorogumo? So the Jorogumo is the first one I've actually had that goes higher in initiative than the Raptor. Not that that makes a great deal of difference. It's got terror, doesn't matter. Wall crawl, doesn't really matter. But it's got spider magic, which again I haven't played this, so I don't know what's in this. But it's got its own little deck of magic that it does at the start of their activation. A bit like how we had the cards of the tools for the the guy who nearly did it. That fella, big tall fella. Anyway, so it's got those. So I don't know what's in these because I'm not doing it. So depending on what's in those, it could be really good for it. I don't know. It's got this next bit, which is Spider's Lair. Place a Spider's Lair marker. I have to actually go and open up the second token case to find this. There you go, Spider's Lair. Spider's Lair. Place Spider's Lair marker on map tile that Jargano enter play on. Any hero ending their move on a Spider's Lair map tile must pass an agility 5 or more test or gain a webbed marker. Equally, it got web spinners. Whenever it rolls on its melee hits of 1, it immediately adds a webbed marker to the target. What are well? There's webbed markers. Here you go, little webbed marker. But what do they do? I hadn't the foggiest. But I found that on the back of the Forest of the Dead adventure book, there we go, webs. And web says for each webbed marker a model has, they are -1 move, kind of inconsequential, but also they take 1 more damage for every enemy hit that they take. And then it says at the start of the model's activation, it may make a strength 5 or more test for every 5 or more roll to remove 1 webbed marker. And then there's some stuff about other people can get them off you, whatever. It's going to be really interesting because so far I've been ruling that much like allies, the enemies only have 1 in all their ability skill and all their skills. So poor old Swamp Raptor's not going to have much. He's not going to have much chance to get rid of these webbed, and it's probably going to pick one up from the Spider's Lair, which makes it really interesting because the Jorogumo has a combat of 8. That is like a huge amount of hits. But it's only potential hits, but it's only got a damage of 1. So it's going to start off doing like nothing to the Swamp Raptor, whose defense is 3. It needs to get 3 webbed markers on the Swamp Raptor before it starts to do damage when it attacks. But then once it does, it's potentially, and especially if it goes even higher than 3, we start seeing 4 or 5, it could potentially do a ton of damage to the Swamp Raptor, which then may kick in the enrage, and the Swamp Raptor might then just utterly chomp down on Jorogumo. It's only got a defense of 3, so it's going to be taking 2 from every hit from the Raptor, and it's only got 25 health in this, because it's treating it as 1 hero. So it's a bit fragile, but on paper, before we consider what's inside the Spider Magic deck, it could start off slow and not really do that much, but then it could escalate like crazy and see the Swamp Raptor just taking huge amounts of damage each round. So there you go. That is the two contenders. So yeah, which one do I think is going to win between the Jargano and the Swamp Raptor? Well, yes. I actually think this is going to be close, but I still think I'm still with the Big Daddy from Jargano. I think it's still going to be the Swamp Raptor. I think the Jargano is going to do nothing, and then it's just going to dump a ton of damage on it, and then it's just going to get its head bitten off as the Swamp Raptor gets enraged. That is my prediction. Obviously, I don't know what's in this deck here. There could be like all kinds of tricks in here that swing it back in the Jargano's face. Let's put them that way around, so you can read them a little bit better. Or at least see the pictures a bit better. So yeah, round one. Start with the Jargano. Initiative 8. At the start of their activation, casts a random spell from the Spider Magic there, which I haven't shuffled yet, so give them a good shuffle. Could have been doing that whilst I was talking. So at the moment, no webs on the Raptor. Let's go with this one. What does this one say? This one says Venom Blast. The spellcaster immediately makes a following ranged attack targeting a random hero within line of sight. Yes, it's in line of sight. Range 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's in range. Shots 1. Damage D8. A hero that takes 1 or more wounds from the Venom Blast gets D3 poison markers. Okay. That could get inconvenient for the Raptor. So, range 8. Shots 1. Hits on a 4 or more. Let's see what we get. 1. Well, it misses anyway. Okay. So the first Spider Magic kind of does not much, whiffs a bit. Okay, so that's that. Then the first one that's actually done it, it brings the fight. I'll move that around a bit. It brings a fight to the Raptor. Okay. Right then. So, is there much point in doing it? I suppose you could roll the ones. Yeah, I could roll the ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 attacks. Hitting on 4 rolls. Okay, so it hits 4 times, but it only does 1 damage per hit, so that does nothing. Those two ones apply one immediately add a web marker to the target. So the Raptor is 1 and 2. Okay. Right. So I think that is the end of the Jargano's turn. Swamp Raptor starts its activation in a spider's lair. Ending their move, okay. So tries to move, doesn't move anywhere. Ends its move. Does it get webbed from the spider's lair? It does. Another web. Okay, that's crazy. That's gone to 3 straight away. So it's going to take damage now when it gets attacked by the Jorogumo. So that we've done the move. So we then do the attack, which is 3 dice attack. 2 hits, so that is going to be 4 wounds in total to the Jorogumo. There we go, 4 wounds on the Jargano. Then it chomps, so it does the chomp. And the chomp does land. 2d6 damage. But only 4, so it's actually only the 1, so go up to 5 out of 25. So that was round 1. Round 2. Again, start the Jargano. So first thing we do some spider magic. Do another quick shuffle. Fan them out. Let's. Oh, that's interesting. There's a slight difference in texture of these cards. Have I got an extra card from somewhere? I don't know. Let's try this one. What does this one say? Bewitched. A random hero is bewitched by the magic of the Spider Queen. That hero must immediately pass the Spirit 6 or more test or lose their next activation. Wow. That was nearly the Raptor's undoing. This is the Flesh Eater guy. I can't even remember it. Never mind. The big dude from space. So yeah, can the Raptor get a 6 on his dice and miss its go? No, misses its go. Wow, that's nasty. That was a nasty one, that. Okay, so that was the spider magic. We then go to the 8 attacks once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is now, again, hitting on 4s, but now they're doing 4 damage per. Oh, there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits, 2 more webs. Oh no, 5 hit, 2 more webs. I think you probably work out the webs after you've done the damage. Otherwise, that's a bit too good, I guess. Hang on. Jargano rolls immediately add a web marker to the target. So I guess if they immediately add it, it is before it does damage. Okay, 5 sets of 6. Jeez. Wow. So 15 damage. So the Raptor will then respond, of course, if it's enraged. So gets its 3 attacks. Two hits, so that is another 4 damage to the Jorogumo. Chomp, chomp, hits. I'm going to ignore the 6, it says immune to crits, so we don't get that. So deals 8, which is 5 to the Jargano. So the Jargano is now on 14 out of 25, so a little over halfway, but the Raptor is now going to miss its activation. So it doesn't get a chance to get rid of any of those webs. Round 3. Jorogumo again. Let's go with this one. What does this one say? This one says the spider's web. Okay. All heroes immediately take 1 wound for each webbed marker they currently have, ignoring defense. Any hero that has no webbed markers immediately gains a webbed marker instead. Okay, so it just takes 5 damage. Pow. Okay. Jargano's attacks, 8 dice, now doing, yes, doing 6, but possibly more depending on how many 1s it gets on this. 6 per hit. Okay, so we don't apply any more webs, but we do hit 4 times. So that's 4 sets, so that's 12. So Mr. Raptor is now on 32. Wow, this is quick. This is like the fastest this thing's been taken down. But of course it triggers its attack. So 3 hits, only 1 hit, so that's 2 damage, takes the Jargano on to 16, does the chomp land, it does, 2d6 damage, that's 6, so another 3, so that's the Jargano on 18, and that was the Jargano's go. So we now go to the Swamp Raptor's go. Does it get rid of one of its webs by rolling 5 or more? Ooh, no, that's a 1, so no it doesn't. But it does get its 3 attacks. Sorry, I'm supposed to show that. That's 2 that hit, so another 4. This is getting dangerous. This chomp could finish the Jargano off. Jorogumo, get it right, Jorogumo off. So it does the chomp hit. It doesn't, chomp misses. Okay. Right. Well then, that's that turn. Start the next turn. Jorogumo goes first. Spider magic. This is looking pretty dicey, I must admit, for the Swamp Raptor. 32 out of 45. Given the 8 attacks, if any of the more webs get stuck on it. Oh, that's a good point. Roll to see if it was webbed from the spider's lair. It was. It was webbed from the spider's lair. Because it actually got a move this turn. So there you go, another webbed. Yeah, it's. I must admit, it's looking pretty dicey for the Swamp Raptor at this point. So let's have a look. What have we got? No, wow, that's nice. Scurry, the spellcaster immediately heals D6 wounds. So the Jargano heals 1. That one. Heals 1. That could have been better. Jargano then attacks. 8 dice attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, only 1 web, so it applies a web to go to 7. So it's doing 8 per hit. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like 20 damage. Is that right? So 7 damage is 8 per hit. Faster defense, that's 5 per. 4 5s is 20. Yeah, 20 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 42. That's 52. That is a dead raptor. And yeah, I feel it'd be unfair to let me have its post-mortem in rage. So I think we've just got a new winner. The sort of, what was it, 5 times undefeated raptor has now been defeated. You are no longer a champ. Away you go. And now the new champion is the Jorogumo. I was a bit surprised at that, to be honest. That wasn't what I predicted by any stretch of the imagination. I feel it's these webs. These webs. Wow. This thing can kick out a ton of damage if these webs get really high. I'm not looking forward to meeting this thing in an actual game. I suppose you've got a better chance of dodging the sort of spider's lair one because of your skills. Probably agility is probably higher, and equally you could use your strength to get out of these. And it changes target each turn, so it's not like it's going to do this. It's not going to keep picking on the same one again and again and again. So you could probably maybe distribute the webs across the party and get them off. But yeah, versus this on a one-on-one, wow, this Jorogumo's got a ton of damage. We may see a new champ for quite some time now in the Jorogumo. But there you go, another deathmatch and the new champion.